Hello and welcome to HW News. As there was no headway seen in the India-China border face-off at line of actual control in Ladakh, all the eyes were set on the meeting between foreign ministers of two countries, Jaishankar and Wang Yi. The meeting took place on Thursday on the sidelines of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization summit in Moscow. Earlier, Defence Minister of China had also sought a meeting with Defence Minister of India Rajnath Singh, but there was no clear conclusion on the standoff. On the other hand, we saw pictures of Chinese soldiers with spears, stick machetes and automatic rifles. This is said to be from the day when reports of firing from the tense border came in. The Chinese army said that Indian soldiers fired in the air when they were patrolling near LAC. Whereas India maintained that no shots were fired from our side, Chinese soldiers were coming close to the Indian post and our soldiers warned them to back off and they backed off, and while doing that, they fired shots in the air. Thus, it was expected that the meeting between Indian and Chinese foreign minister will give a much needed political and diplomatic headway. In the meeting, both the ministers agreed on a 5-point formula to diffuse the tension at the border. And these 5 points were this. The two ministers agreed that both the sides should take guidance from the series of consensus of the leaders on developing India-China relations, including not allowing differences to become dispute. The second point was, the two foreign ministers also agreed that the current situation in the border areas is not in the interest of either side. They agreed, therefore, that the border troops of both the sides should continue their dialogue. They should disengage, they should maintain a proper distance and ease the tension. Third point, they agreed that both the sides shall abide by all the existing agreements and protocols on China-India boundary affairs, maintain peace and tranquility in the border areas and avoid any kind of action that could escalate the matters. The two sides also agreed to continue to have a dialogue and communication through special representative mechanism on the India-China boundary question. They also agreed in this context that the working mechanism for consultation and coordination on India-China border affairs, that is known as WMCC, should also continue its meetings. The ministers also agreed that as the situation eases, the two sides should expedite work to conclude new confidence-building measures to maintain and enhance peace and tranquility in the border areas. So these were the 5 points that were agreed upon. So what did the press statement from both the countries say? India released a joint press statement after the meet. It said that both ministers had a frank and constructive discussion on the development in the India-China border areas as well as on India-China relations. It also elaborated the 5-point agreement between the two countries. On the other hand, the Chinese embassy in New Delhi released a statement which is as follows, and I am going to read out to you. On 10 September local time, State Councillor Foreign Minister Wang Yi met with Indian Foreign Minister Jaishankar on the sidelines of the SCO Foreign Ministers meeting in Moscow. Wang noted that it is normal for China and India to have differences as two neighboring major countries. What is important is to put these differences in a proper context vis-a-vis bilateral relations. The key to that is to take guidance from the strategy consensus between the Chinese and Indian leaders that China and India are not competitive rivals or each other's threat, but cooperation partners and each other's developmental opportunities. Wang stressed that as two large developing countries emerging rapidly, what China and India need right now is cooperation and not confrontation, and mutual trust, not suspicion. Wherever the situation gets difficult, it is all the more important to ensure the stability of the overall relationship and preserve the mutual trust. Wang said that China-India relations have once again come to a crossroads, but as long as the two sides keep moving the relationship in the right direction, there will be no difficulty or challenge that can't be overcome. Wang outlined China's stern position on the situation in the border areas, emphasizing that the imperative is to immediately stop provocations such as firing and other dangerous action that violate the commitment made by the two sides. Now, it is the most important to move back all the personnel and equipment that have trespassed. The frontier troops must quickly disengage so that the situation may de-escalate. The Chinese side is willing to support enhanced dialogue between the frontier troops on both sides to resolve the specific issues. The Chinese side will stay in touch with the Indian side through diplomatic and military channels and be committed to restoring peace and tranquility in the border areas. Jaishankar also noted that the Indian side does not want tensions to escalate in the border areas. India's policy towards China has not changed. The Indian side believes that China policy towards India has not changed either. The Indian side does not consider the development of India-China relations to be dependent on the settlement of boundary question, and India does not want to go backwards. The truth is, India-China relations have made steady progress over the years. The Chinese and Indian leaders have met several times and reached a series of important consensus on the development of bilateral relations. The Indian side is prepared to work with China to ease tensions on the border through dialogue and negotiations and to restore and maintain peace and tranquility in the border areas. The two sides reached a 5-point consensus regarding the current situation after a full in-depth discussion. As per the media reports citing sources, the Indian side expressed its strong concern over a huge number of Chinese troops with equipment along the line of actual control. As Jaishankar also stressed that the presence of such large concentration of troops was not in accordance with the 1993 and 1996 agreement. Sources said that Chinese side has not provided a credible explanation for this deployment. China also still tried to take a position on the current crisis as one where they have been wronged. Their statement said that Wang outlined China's stern position on the border situation and said it is imperative that provocations should be stopped completely, including firing. Meanwhile, the Chinese state-owned newspaper Global Times has threatened India. Global Times said that if the Indian army does not withdraw from the southern part of Pangong Tso Lake, that is in Ladakh, then the People's Liberation Army will remain there during the entire winter. It said if a war breaks out, the Indian army will be defeated quickly, and this is what the editor-in-chief of Global Times said on Twitter. In his editorial in the newspaper, he wrote, China used to care too much about India's dignity, and such a dignity has eventually been taken advantage by Indian nationalist forces. They have forgotten who they are. This time, everything should be put on the table. Well, on the other hand, while this meeting was being held in Moscow, the Chinese army has increased build-up in the last 48 hours as it looks to move further west of Finger 4. Indian troops are also being deployed in large numbers along Finger 3 ridgeline on the north bank of Pangong Tso to match the PLA build-up. We are closely following up the India-China border face-off. External affairs expert Professor Dr. Uttara Sahasrabudhe will also analyze the recent developments in the India-China relations in the latest episode of the India International that will come out this Sunday. Don't forget to watch that video. And if you like this video, subscribe to our YouTube channel, press the bell icon. You can also connect with us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter for all the latest updates. Thank you.
Now be the first to know about the latest updates on our new news app. Go on your Android or iOS, search for HW News Network. Download our app, choose the language you prefer to get updates in, and be up to date with the latest news.
If you like this video, please share it, and we would love to hear your comments in the comments section down here. Also, please do like our Facebook page and follow us on Twitter to get minute-to-minute news updates. For more such shows and videos, well, subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Now be the first to know about the latest updates on our new news app. Go on your Android or iOS, search for HW News Network. Download our app, choose the language you prefer to get updates in, and be up to date with the latest news.